Welcome, everybody. We are talking about pardons increasingly, not only because Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, but because we now have some Republicans, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying, I would like Trump to give me a blanket pardon. We'll talk about that tomorrow. The obvious question is, if Marjorie Taylor Greene wants a pardon, why does she think she would need one? But we'll deal with that. The Biden administration is now discussing preemptive pardons for officials who might end up in the crosshairs of Donald Trump's revenge tour. Now, normally, preemptive pardons raise some pretty significant red flags. They imply that you're guilty. If you go out and say, I am issuing a blanket pardon for this particular person, the natural reaction would be to say, well, what did they do that anyone thinks they need a pardon? And this can really undermine public trust in government and generate a lot of other problems. When Donald Trump is openly planning to weaponize the government to punish his enemies, which is what he has run on now for over a year, it might be the perfect time to break out what is admittedly an extraordinary measure. Now, it's not paranoia. It's not a desire to circumvent the law that has triggered these discussions in the Biden White House. It's Trump's nominations, and it's the threat that has been so clearly spelled out for everybody to see in the public. Donald Trump has selected Kash Patel to be FBI director. Now, we don't yet know whether Kash is actually going to be confirmed, but this is not someone who's going to go and soberly push law and order and judicious use of investigative power. We know why Patel has been selected. He's been public that he has plans to go after people like Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, and others involved in holding Donald Trump accountable, failing to do so mostly. And now the revenge tour is going to start. Now, the list of people that Biden is worried about is extensive. It includes Adam Schiff, who, of course, chaired the House Intelligence Committee during Donald Trump's first impeachment. It includes Liz Cheney, a Republican who helped lead the January 6th committee and has been a target of Trump's ire and wrath ever since. Anthony Fauci is another potential target in his 80s. They want to see Fauci in prison. It's wild. He just has become the perennial scapegoat with anything related to health or the pandemic. And Donald Trump has already called for Liz Cheney and some others to be jailed. He casually said during the campaign, this person should be in prison and that person should be in prison. Fauci has been the subject of endless conspiracy theories. None of this stuff is hypothetical. This is actually happening. When we talk tomorrow about Marjorie Taylor Greene's wish for a blanket pardon for herself, we are left to wonder, who does she think is going to target her? Unless she did something wrong that she knows about, which we'll talk about. But we know who's going to target Adam Schiff and Fauci and Liz Cheney. They've told us that they want to do it. Now, we do have to consider the optics of this. The White House has to think carefully about how to approach this. Because on the one hand, they are trying to protect officials who might face baseless but relentless investigations under Trump. They have good reason to believe that that will happen. Now, on the other hand, issuing pardons now looks defensive. It could incriminate people who have committed no crime whatsoever. I don't think Fauci committed any crime. I don't think Liz Cheney committed any crime. I don't think Adam Schiff committed any crime. I don't know if Marjorie Taylor Greene committed a crime. She wants a pardon. And this is why with these possible Biden pardons, the beneficiaries aren't even asking for them. And some of the folks have actually sort of publicly opposed the idea. Adam Schiff, for example, said, if Biden were to pardon him now, it would seem defensive and unnecessary. So if we zoom out, these end of administration pardons do happen all the time. But it is an unprecedented situation. Trump's return to the White House, we know, is going to be a real revenge tour. That is not law and order. Kash Patel, other Trump loyalists, they aren't pretending that this is about justice. They want to punish Trump's enemies. They want to intimidate future dissenters. And that's their clearly stated goal. Even without getting anybody convicted, just being targeted by a Trump DOJ could really devastate people financially. Legal fees for high-profile investigations can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, even if you did nothing wrong. And so the preemptive pardon from Biden is sending the message, don't even bother. Just don't even get involved in this. Now, I think it is important to mention these blanket preemptive presidential pardons would only apply to federal charges. State charges are not covered. At the same time, no one seems to think that Adam Schiff, Fauci, or Liz Cheney have done anything wrong at all, never mind anything that would lead to any kind of state charges. So in this particular case, you all know I am extremely careful and judicious in how I want to see presidential pardons used. This is not just about protecting individuals in this particular case. How much am I worried about Adam Schiff specifically? I don't know, not that much. I think he's going to be okay. But it is important to send a message that you can't just go and do a campaign on political retaliation and revenge and retribution, come into power, and then expect to get away with all of it. The idea of the preemptive pardon from Biden is saying you're not going to now do the revenge tour. Trump has made it clear that he's coming after his enemies. Joe Biden is trying to do what he sees as the right thing on his way out. And the thing here that is very clear, there is no personal benefit to 80-something-year-old Biden to preemptively pardoning Adam Schiff. If anything, Biden is just exposing himself to criticism. So it's really important to consider the difference. Trump's pardons have been for cronies, individuals who he subsequently hired. There were business connections, all sorts of stuff wrapped up in it. There is no upside at all to Biden to preemptively pardoning Liz Cheney or Anthony Fauci or Adam Schiff or the other people he's considering pardoning. And that only reinforces to me that Biden is genuinely trying to do the right thing. We could disagree. We could say he shouldn't have pardon power or this is the wrong time to use it. But there is no case you can make that this is Biden's rapacious hunger for personal gain, because he is going to get widely panned if he does this, much the same way that he's being criticized for his pardon of his own son. Let me know what you think. Should he do it? Should he not? I want to hear from you. info@davidpakman.com. For the gentlemen in my audience, you've probably been wearing the same type of underwear for years. The sticking and rubbing that you get with the traditional underwear is just a part of your life, and you've accepted it as your fate. But it doesn't have to be if you consider Sheath Underwear. Our sponsor, Sheath Underwear, is uniquely designed with two special pouches in the front, keeping everything separate in their own compartment to give you extra confidence when you're out and about. These ergonomic pouches let you keep everything dry and cool, letting the air flow so you skip the sweating and the chafing that you've gotten with your regular underwear. I've seen so many people skeptical about Sheath at first, only to change their minds once they try it for the first time. As soon as you put these on, you realize what you've been missing out on all these years, a new level of ergonomic comfort and breathability you didn't even know was possible. Try it once before you make up your mind. Sheath is giving my audience 20% off with the code PAKMAN. Go to sheathunderwear.com/PAKMAN. The link is down below.